on today's lesson that we all picked up off the back table on our way in, it's a little bit of a review for our interior and exterior angles. They're also going to introduce a new rule that will make it easier on you if they ask you to find an interior and an exterior angle, so you don't have to solve completely both formulas. Okay? So first they remind us interior sum can be found using 180 times n minus 2, and exterior sum always 360. If you want to find one interior angle, you use this same formula, but you divide it by the number of sides, right? And to find one exterior, you divide 360 by the number of sides. This is the new idea that they're adding in today. They said that if you have one exterior angle and one interior angle, they should add up to 180 degrees, no matter what the figure is. So let's say I already know what my exterior angle is. Maybe I know my exterior angle is 70. Then I would have 70 plus an unknown equals 180. I could just subtract from 180 to figure out what that is instead of doing the whole 180 times n minus 2 divided by n. Right? All right, so first, they just have a couple of review questions for us. The first one says to find the sum of measures of interior angles of a convex octagon. Well, again, how many sides do we know an octagon has? 8. So if I'm finding the sum, I would use that first formula listed in the box up there. 180 times n minus 2, and you guys said n was 8. So really, 180 times, very good. And 180 times 6 is going to give us, very good. All right. On example 2, it says that the sum of the measures of the interior angles of a convex polygon is 900. Classify the polygon by its number of sides. So we're going to find its number of sides and say what kind of a shape that would be. First of all, they want us to write down what our formula would be. So we're going to use the polygon interior angles formula. Okay? So we know that it's interior sum is 900, right? I set that equal to our formula that would help us find interior sum. So that's the same formula we just used up here. 180 times n minus 2 apparently is equal to 900 in this case. And then I would just solve for n. So I have some options here. I could distribute the 180 into the parentheses and then start moving stuff side to side. Or I could just go ahead and divide both sides by 180. So if I divide both of these sides by 180, over here I'm just left with n minus 2, and 900 divided by 180 is good. Alright, and then that means n must be, very good. So this thing has 7 sides. What kind of a shape is that? Hexagon. Very good. All right. Okay, then they have an exterior problem for us. All right, so it says exterior angle sum is always what? Okay. Always 360 degrees. All right. So keeping that in mind, on example 3, they have this drawing where they marked all of the exterior angles on the figure, and they want us to solve for x. So knowing that the exterior sum is 360, what would we set up to solve? Right. Add them all up, set it equal to 360. Very good. So I'd have 86 plus 90 plus 3x plus x should equal 360 degrees. All right, and then we would just combine our like terms. So what is 86 plus 90? Very good. And x plus 3x is 4x equals 360. Then what? Right? Which would leave us with 4x is equal to, good. And we divide and get that x must be nice. Okay. So let's flip it over onto the back. And here is where we're going to try out that new rule that they told us about, because in this chart, they're asking that we find one interior and one exterior for each one, right? So apparently, if I find one to find the other, I could just subtract from 180. Well, out of the two, it's usually easier to find the exterior, because all you have to do is divide 360 by the number of sides, right? So let's find exterior first. So that'd be 360 divided by, they said this is a regular triangle. How many sides does a triangle have? Very good. So what is 360 divided by 3? Very good. So apparently each exterior angle in a triangle is 120. And to find each interior, all I would need to do is take 180, subtract the 120, and it's going to leave me with an interior angle. So 60 degrees. Which makes sense because if it's a triangle that's regular, all sides, all angles equal. In an equal angular triangle, all angles do have to be 60 degrees. So it did work. All right, for this next one, we got a regular octagon. Let's use that same rule again. So my exterior sum has to be 360. If it's an octagon, how many sides do we have? So 360 divided by 8 leaves us with, very good. So I know that each exterior angle is 45 degrees. What could I do, what could I do to find the interior? Very good. And 180 minus 45 tells us that each angle must be, very good. Okay. All right, this should also work the other way around. So maybe we find the interior first. I should still be able to use the same rules to find the exterior. So let's say I find interior first this time. So I got 180 times, what's my n minus 2 going to be here? 16 minus 2, which would just be, very good. And I divide it by the number of sides, which we said was 16, right? So what is 180 times 14 divided by 16? Very good. All right. And then apparently to find the exterior angle, all I would need to do is subtract that from 180, right? So what does that leave us for the exterior angle? Very good. All right. So they want us to fill in this chart for the number of sides of the polygon given each interior angle measure. We're looking at a regular polygon that has an interior angle measure of 171. Okay? So first, they just want us to write down what the formula for sum of internal and external angles are. Well, we just said that those two angles supposedly add up to 180. So interior angle plus exterior angle equal 180. That's the trick we were just using on those problems before. All right. Okay, then they want us to substitute in the internal angle that they gave us. So in place of the internal angle, I'm going to go plug in 171. So I have 171 plus external angle equals 180 degrees. Okay, so if I was going to solve for the external angle, all we would have to do is right? So I subtract and I get that the external angle must be, very good. So this thing must have a lot of sides then, right? Okay, speaking of number of sides, they then want us to write out what the formula for external angle measure is. So how do we find the each external angle? 360 divided by what? Huh? Divided by how many sides? Yes, that is. Okay, they then want us to substitute the external angle information. Well, I know now that the external angle is 9, right? So 360 over n is apparently equal to 9. So if I was going to now solve this for the number of sides, what would we do? Not by 360, because that's on top. Multiply both sides by n. Yes, so I'd multiply both sides by n. That would make the n's on this side go away. So I'd have 360 is equal to 9n. And then what would I do? To divide by 9. So we'd end up with 40. So n is equal to 40. So this thing has 40 sides. That's a lot of sides. All right. And